Yeah, I didn't see when I decided to get a master's. Like, yeah. Right. Oh, no, I'm really good, bro. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I kind of get like, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're really about eating yeah, yeah. I think it's a few damage. Ah, the problem. What do you think when they get there? I don't know. Portland is that? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take that. Yeah. Do you think we have to get like the river to put what's called reserve or two? That's uh, it seems like a lot of people are interested in the band camp. Oh well, Conspiracy Night is going to be on Wednesday after. Yeah, I didn't know. So I'm sorry, Peter. President, Vice President.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Everyone here's gonna owe 38,000 payments.
Oh. Oh.
Can someone check that this is working? YouTube, the live stream. What? Do you have a browser? Do you have literally any browser? Okay.
Basically,
I just want to make sure that it's actually live and not like telling me it's live and it's not.
Yeah.
yeah, my yeah. Otherwise, there's much. Yeah. I just do so do rooms. No. I come to Steve Butler. Yeah, he's the guy.
Why is the projector broken? Like there's, okay.
Do you want to do the two truths and a lie first?
I'm gonna speak through like all.
3 live?
Dude, I was having to like.
Yeah.
Cut down.
Okay,
No spoilers. He's not even information. Cut down.
Yeah.
I know, I did that.
It's a good.
I had to get,
Yeah.
Explainer for why.
You got all of 3 seconds to blur it.
Same problem. I'm hoping that my shut down flat. Sorry.
Okay, there was some sort of weirdness.
Oh, I need to put it-
And people were watching. And now we're on live stream with me saying.
Yes. I guess I could. I guess I can probably.
Quick,
turn the-
everybody, Israel has a right to exist. We're on camera.
I mean, in that exact moment, you were not. Isaiah, for that exact moment, you were not on camera, but this is the microphone.
That's the microphone?
That's the microphone right there.
Good.
I'm doing the.
So when they come for y'all, I'm telling them I'm on y'all side. Somebody,
Yeah, apparently somebody wanted to do your black anodized aluminum or steel.
who is that, by the way?
Ouchies.
I asked Ben if he would do Jesus Had a Comment.
Oh. Conspiracy, that's what you wanted.
That's the I'm doing Helen Keller is a fucking lie.
Maybe I should do Michelle Vaughn running to the dog.
That heifer didn't write that.
Blur.
Helen Keller.
Yeah.
When you consider flying planes, so got to really expect her flying with it.
Wow.
She was mute too. You was like you don't talk to me.
Cracks.
We're playing. Okay, let's look at it.
Women are just bad at everything.
Came off the pilot, never landed. We're bartenders here, turning point.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's crazy. She wrecked that plane so hard.
Back then.
Dang.
She didn't have to parallel park it.
Oh my god. Oh boy.
It's kind of a nose dive.
Got all the cards, the one I still don't know about, how it did the thing with it having, no wait, that's this one.
He's gonna design a spaceship one day.
To be fair, it's not that hard.
Bastard soul decided to make that. Different airplane.
If I can export an SPL from it, then yes.
I don't know.
The answer is definitely yes, because they actually do have the SolidWorks plug.
Show you, but it'll take fucking 3 years.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I like about Inventor. It doesn't take forever to boot up. It's literally like at most I've had 5-minute boot up time.
I had to, SolidWorks. I had to close all my other applications. Otherwise, it would run out of like fucking space. Like,
Well, I mean, it does take like all of your RAM and all of your GPU.
mine's way worse.
It takes all of your GPU.
I tell you what, I was change. It was a bad deal.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I added.
It got down to
The fact that they were connected before they had the cycle.
50%. I knew we could
Bizarre.
start. And left the lab.
I mean, it's like shitty stories.
So I didn't have to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So I
put an explanation why they government shut down.
And they kept it on.
And I also called out.
Go ahead. Gotta be careful.
Well, no, it's not that.
Be careful.
But
No, that's not what it is.
these are the people choosing to not go to work. And in this case, it's
That's. Oh, that's what's good.
that Democrat calling that Republicans white. Well, you did all that like on the phone, so then finally answered.
Ah.
And then I came back, saw you did all that. I was like,
I also added a meme.
yep.
You gotta have a meme on every PowerPoint.
I just gonna chat GPT dinner.
You know what? Nah, I'm gonna delete that one.
Don't you have like 4 kids? Together?
Yeah.
I guess like mine. You. Oh. 21. It's been 21 this Saturday. Oh, that's your birthday, dude.
You remember it?
Oh, yeah.
Where's the plug now?
I don't.
Add it.
You gotta be careful with this, the last part.
Well, we can talk about that point in more detail, but the fact of the matter is that the discussion right now has nothing to do with illegal immigration.
Yeah, that's the entire talking point. If you listen to any of the public talk.
That's my thing, and that's honestly, I can't stand it because it's like, it's not like you don't have a leg to stand on. You could just say you don't think legal migrants should, temporary migrants should get the health care, and you can make a case for that. There's no need to pretend it's about illegal.
Mostly. That's the very part. The right hand side. Not even. Oh.
Yes.
You'll see the screen.
Is that good? Doing it.
I'm totally gonna need keyboard. I am going to need. I am doing what's known as a Menger sponge.
Oh, David. You have to, you just have to mentor already.
Yeah, but it's a student account, right? So it's strange because you semi-own it for a year. This is gonna be third. This one, same height.
Wait, what?
Life is awesome.
Yeah.
I get that. But
I mean, also this is true.
it's a good place to talk about what they're saying, and what they're saying, and I'm just saying. What just under. More about like understanding, or just knowing that they're saying, you know, like the whole immigration. Yeah, legally you can, except they're.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the issue, it doesn't matter what they do with these budget bills, we'll still find ways around it.
Yeah, true. Somebody didn't come downtown.
Well, here's the thing though, also that expected doubling in costs, that's for American citizens to be the ones experiencing that.
Well, kind of, because that's the thing, they're supposed to be 50 employees. That's considered so the Republicans are saying that, no, it's not going to be all American citizens.
Yeah, but it's only 10 to 15% based on all the estimates I've seen of people that aren't citizens that'd be affected.
Yeah, and
The
like.
vast
stuff
majority.
like that. So the section.
No, I agree with you. I couldn't fit all that on the slide.
Yeah, dude, I just like making these slides, I was like, oh, I need to include this, I need to include this, I'm like.
Well, no, I didn't want to get too wordy. I just wanted to give the jump off for, we can have conversations
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. Just feel I don't even know how long it's been.
Dude, you should have seen, I might send it to the club. I wrote a paper this weekend about why immigration isn't gonna work for kids in Vermont. Yeah, most of it was this weekend. It was about how immigration cannot fix rural population decline.
Oh, yeah.
And also policy prescription fix this fund.
You get a grade yet on that paper?
Now, I turned it in late, so I'm gonna get a couple points off. And my grade would have been a 99 probably.
We'll probably give it another 5 minutes. Because of location.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine there's like 1 people over there.
I was just thinking, I could run,
Yeah.
I could run over there real quick.
You want to?
Wait, what's
Yeah, it's the big one. It's got like a balcony in it. Yeah. Go first. Are you done to table tomorrow?
What? Hey, did
Are you down to table tomorrow?
Yeah,
Two.
I'm gonna have to go blow my nose.
You have to do what?
I'm gonna have to blow my nose.
Oh, yeah.
Still so congested. Still leaking.
I'm process for like funding right
Yeah.
now. So like specifically in merchandising. I'll share this with you individually. Thank you.
We're so.
Like 5. They're trading beach sticks.
This is amazing.
I'd like to go to, I think.
Why don't you want to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Video. Then like the song. Let's say what? The big plan back in.
You don't need to go.
That's the way. You want to?
Feel bad, Nikki.
Not a big deal.
So, yes. He's like, I'm.
That's so big.
Oh boy, this is gonna suck. Not you, not you, not you, not you, not you. The pain of the Mender sponge is literally just clicking every single square.
Oh, yeah. So actually, I was, and it's pretty much. Which that's like just an important stuff. But I think that
Nice to get it. Good. Wonder how much of this we're gonna do the last night, like 3.
What's your core, like, what are you trying to do? Like, read the slides, everybody, is it discuss, or discuss as we go?
Really, or, so they understand what's going on and then more about it.
Maybe you wanna throw out a hot topic?
Like, one is just to talk with people, right? At the very end, I can't remember doing.
We can, go, we can.
It's work on.
Um,
You get on, I think you're exchanging them. I know that the location change is a little bit rattling. It's all very last minute. We asked the university for a more consistent place to meet, and they got back with us today, handful of hours before our meeting, change our location. So up here, we have the actual club page. If you're not on the email list, that's how you get on. You have to scan it and then actually go to the hamburger menu and then you can go to join. The group me, obviously, I think everyone in here is. It's now announcement mode only, so only leadership titles can comment in it. There's a social group that's pinned at the top of it if you want to talk with a bunch. Upcoming events, very quickly. There's a free speech faculty protest on the 9th. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go to the YAP meeting and see if we can join them, because I know they're gonna be tabling to see what's going on. Hopefully we can just set up the table, and be with them, I guess, because it might be a little bit entertaining or educational. Big Go, we have a activism grant turning point, hopefully to get a mechanical bull. We have to see when it happens, because we're going to need at least 2 weeks from when it's actually accepted for the university. And then also there's probably a handful of safety regulations around it. All the weekend, members event, it'll be like a dry costume party. We're still trying to figure out where, when, what we're going to do. Get something going. If you have requests, like what you want to happen. Yeah. It's just alcohol. Yeah.
Like, where in this club?
What?
Solutions Club.
Yeah. Conspiracy theory night, that's confirmed. We're gonna get it scheduled for October 15th. Basically, it's like a trial run. Everyone can go do that. And then later on during the winter, we can actually advertise it more to the university and hopefully get people to join during the week that event. There's been a lot so far. American Fest, register for Camp Fest. The link is here. I'll send these slides out later. It's a turning point event. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. And it's a good time from what I hear. We have travel stipends, so we'll pay for just about everything other than like one or two things. It'll probably cost you like $100 to go, right? Which is like nothing compared to the value of it. There's gonna be a ton of very famous speakers there. There's too much information for me to sit here and spiel about it, so.
Question. So for the 9th, have we decided if we're gonna be tabling it that?
I'm just gonna talk to them tomorrow.
Okay.
That's another plan. Yeah. It would be a more individual thing. If we get travel stipends from our Hawkeye representative, we say this is how many people want to go and then get approved for so many, right? And I think you have to pay for your ticket, which is like $50.
75.
It's 75. Okay. Is that the student pass or just the adult? Like the people that are really, they upped it again. Earlier, this year is $25, so going up.
Lodging sold, wasn't sold out.
Really? Wow. That's kind of awesome. I wonder what they'll do with that, or how that'll work. I'll have to talk to Sophia. But, yeah, there's something else I was gonna say, but I'll remember it as we leave here. All right, conspiracy theory night, first come, first served. If you have a theory that you want to present, please get the QR code and let us know what it is. It's gonna have to be approved, obviously, because it can't equal like or anything like that. Can't be harmful to anyone, towards ISU guidelines and all that. The idea is that if you want to present a theory, you're gonna come up in front of everybody and have a slideshow similar to what I have today. But do not take like half an hour. I don't know what our time limit will be on presenters yet, but it will be long enough for you to get the general idea of your theory out. Yeah, your goods there. If you need it, it'll be in the slideshow later. I'll do it in the email. I think. So we're talking a lot about the Gaza Strip, Palestine, the flotilla, all that good stuff. Hopefully, most of you are very educated on it already. It's pretty important. I like to talk about politics more without that. So, Palestine. State of Palestine was declared in 1988, which was not very long ago. A lot of people think that that's like ancient, but I think it's like 40 years. So it's not that long in terms of history. Over 150 countries recognize it, but the US and a lot of other Western powers don't actually recognize it as a state. So it's divided politically. It's controlled by Hamas, which is a terrorist organization. The US has deemed it as a terrorist organization. I don't know where you put this in, Isaiah, except they were voted in by their people there. That also a lot of times it's kind of like how Putin was voted in, you know, not very fair process.
Well, I think it's on the next slide. I didn't put all those details. It's complicated because international watchdog groups, by and large, do accept the results of that election in 26 as legitimate. Most governments did not because they viewed Hamas as a terrorist group already at the time. So even though they were voted for, it seems like most governments didn't recognize it. And there also has not, I misspelled Hamas. Hamas. But there has not been an election since. So while it's an important thing to understand that they originally got voted in, since then, they have not allowed any chances to be voted out.
So, founded in 1987, they won the majority, like what he was saying. Oh, that's where you missed about it. See, there hasn't been an election since. There's a fact that exists, but it's not fully recognized. Terrorists, I think we already got most of this. They run schools, hospitals, police stations. They also conducted attacks on Israel. A lot of things that a lot of times that people talk about the whole Great Hostile thing, it's hard to not mention what Hamas is doing to the Israeli people. It's very violent and unimaginable. I'll put it that way. Gaza Strip in Israel. So a lot of people actually don't know this. They know about it, but they don't actually recognize this, I guess. First thing I really want to point out is this is what it looks like over New York City, right? It's not a very big area at all. It's like 25 miles long, right? Like 25 miles by 2 miles, something like that. It's not very big at all. 2.2 million people live there. One of the densest places on earth. New York City is the most densely populated place in the United States, and they only have 27,000 square mile. And I know there's a lot of people here who have been in Chicago that's only 12,000. So take that times 3 point something, and you have the Gaza Strip. I also want to point out they're like fully refugees. Mostly everyone who lives in that strip, they are all refugees from somewhere, sometime. A lot of this, once again, is just reinstating Hamas took control over Gaza. Israel declared independence after World War II. They gained a lot of their space from actually fighting back against other Arabian states. So Hamas launched rocket attacks on Israel for a few years. It just progressively got worse and worse, right, until Israel had enough of it, essentially. So October 7th, Hamas went into Israel and killed 1,200 Israelis, kidnapped 250 hostages, and the war got started back up. You'll hear that date a lot when you talk to people about this entire thing. They're like, oh, October 7th was this, that, this. Or they'll even say, like, oh, October 7th was nothing compared to so on and so forth, which I guess you'll see here in a second. So Israel is going into the Gaza Strip of Palestine to destroy Hamas, rescue their hostages, which to this day they still have some hostages, which some people are like, actually, no, they don't have any hostages, they're all dead, right? But they want their hostages back, even if they aren't alive, which is kind of insane to think about. That we talk about that so casually and just accept it as a fact. And of course, Israel, they also want to prevent against future attacks. They think that if they were to stop now and say, okay, well, it's just fair now, I've done my thing, we'll count as even, then here in a decade or two, they would just rebuild their military and attack Israel again, right? So it's a whole thing of Israel trying to protect their borders. So the casualties so far, this is insane, like actually insane to think about. Unreal numbers. Over 60,000 Palestinians have been killed. That number is from the Gaza Health Ministry. Roughly 83% of them are civilians, and that is horrifying. There's been widespread destruction across Gaza. There's been home schools, hospitals, any sort of like police station, fire station, a lot of those places, even just apartment buildings. Up, just look at the destruction. There's a lot. Israel says that they target Hamas tunnels, that's saying that the Hamas are using civilians as shields. If you look this up and really dig into it, you'll actually find that yes, absolutely, that's what's happening. Hamas does not care about people really whatsoever, and so they're not afraid to actually put their weapons inside of a hospital, because that way, if Israel wanted to attack Hamas, they're going to have to level a hospital. And that's not really an optimal thing for Israel to want to do. Same thing with apartment buildings, so on and so forth. If you put your missiles in a school, it's going to look really bad on whoever's going to destroy your missiles to destroy that school, right?
And of course, they're still forcing their citizens to go to school there.
Yes. Absolutely. They're not just saying, okay, everyone's school's canceled for the next year or so because we're going to put our missiles in your hallways. They're saying, well, that sucks. You're refugees and we need to kill Israel. So, sucks to suck, right? The 83% civilians, I don't know how educated everyone here is on like the Vietnam War. I find a resemblance in this in a lot of ways, because whenever the United States was over there and they would go into villages and so on and so forth, they wouldn't know who is actually an enemy or not, right? And that's extremely dangerous because if you're a U.S. soldier and you're in Vietnam and you're trying to go through a house, make sure there's no one in there, and there's a woman and her kid there, right? You're like, okay, they're not a threat, they're not actually part of the military, right? But it turns out one of them was, right? If you look up videos, the Hamas are actually training like little kids. And a lot of times they're not even like training little kids. Instead, they'll just say like, "Here, kid, like take this flag and run up to them, run up to these Israeli soldiers." The Israeli soldiers aren't trying to shoot them, aren't trying to do anything like that. But the parent will actually try to record and make it seem like Israel's horrible for attacking this kid. And Israel, like, sometimes that will actually happen because the kid will have like a pipe bomb on him, right? And so they don't have a choice, right? Other times, there is a video where the Israeli troops recognized how idiotic it was, and the kid just turned around and ran back to his dad. But also the fact that dads are willing to send their 7-year-old kid out towards a military that you're at war with as like the form of a sacrifice. Once again, that's unimaginable. That's insane.
It's very morally questionable.
Extremely morally questionable. It's wrong. So when will Israel stop? A lot of people, whenever you hear like, "Oh, free Palestine" and all that, they're saying Israel needs to quit attacking Palestine. Obviously, Israel has stated their goals for ending. They want to destroy Hamas as a military force and a governing power in Gaza. They want to free all the hostages that were taken on October 7th. And like I mentioned earlier, they want to make sure that Hamas is not going to be a threat, or any of the people there are going to be a threat to Israel again. There have been peace deals that keep coming up, ceasefire, so on and so forth. They keep failing because Hamas just says, okay, we're done. And then they start not being done, like very quickly after. Israel insists on the hostages being released and Hamas de-arming themselves before they actually quit attacking, right? And then, of course, the United States, Egypt, and Qatar have all been trying to get that to stop. That's not a good map of it. So Egypt is like right here, and then the Gaza Strip's right here, and then Israel's right here. So Egypt having to work in there is because they're basically right next to them. So for like an actual end to this is where it gets really difficult. I know Charlie Kirk, he was having doubts on a lot of this like a week before he passed. He was saying, when does this become morally questionable, right? Like he was saying, absolutely, Israel has a right to defend themselves. If Hamas is attacking them, then Israel has the right to go in and try to get rid of Hamas. And so Hamas will surrender, which they won't, right? They've been refusing. But when does it become morally questionable when there have been 60,000 Palestinians, 83% of them being civilians that have died, right? It's an ugly, ugly situation. But a lot of times, especially historically, the only option for a lot of things, a lot of cases like this is almost like a total war kind of thing. Right, this sucks. This is a horrible, nasty thing, except we need to completely destroy our enemy. Otherwise, they're going to come back and attack us again, right? So that's how, so far, it seems like the approach that they're going. They've said, obviously, if they surrender and knock it off and show that they aren't building any more missiles or weapons, then we'll quit, right? But whenever they keep lying, it starts to look like the thing where Israel is just going to have to go in and completely wipe them out for this to be over. So now with the, yeah.
Yeah, so like what you're saying, it sounds like, Israel believe that like the ends justify the means. Is that? Like the ends justify the means? I think that's fair.
I could take that along as an issue.
He's asking if you think that if that's Israel's perspective on this, is that the ends justify the means.
Yeah, Israel thinks that them doing this, it's not really their choice because they're defending themselves by taking care of them.
That's probably the perspectives of both sides, by the way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of religion to this as well. A lot of religion, actually. Trying to say if there's something else I can say on that. I'll hold off. So there was a flotilla to Gaza here recently. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it, led by Greta Thunberg, who's a very interesting character. She's a very interesting character. She's Swedish and very loud. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
She's my favorite autistic person.
She's done a lot of things that a lot of governments have been like, could you just stop? Could you please go sit down, go back to school? She's 22 years old now, I think so. But there were 40 or 41 boats. I've seen both numbers. They were trying to go into Gaza. They were coming down through here. Israel, of course, just swept around and said, no, go home. You're not allowed to do this. Right? They ended up towing their boat away. There were videos I've seen of, and once again, I've seen both sides of this where there were Israeli soldiers on the boats trying to give aid. And I've seen videos of a drone strike against one of the boats. And by a drone strike, I'm not meaning a drone strike like you would use to actually try to destroy a boat. It seemed more like someone dropped a flaming newspaper onto their boat. It wasn't like an actual missile, but it did do.
Or like a small surveillance drone crashed into it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a bomb, but instead just like, yeah.
Thunberg.
Is it Thunberg or
Thunberg.
Oh yeah, that's the other part of this, and I'll get into that. The thing that they're pushing because they don't like Israel, they're looking at like all the civilians, like Hamas, right? Except civilians are dying, and that's the problem they have, right? Which is a good thing that they care about the civilians, right? That's great. They want to offer aid. That's amazing. I support helping the civilians, absolutely, right? Because a lot of times that can be disguised as, oh, I want to go help the civilians, and instead of helping the civilians, they're actually bringing in like weapons or food and stuff to try to give to Hamas. A lot of times Hamas will actually just take those things depending on the channels. Yeah.
Would it be that wrong for Israel to bomb the ships?
Yeah, I would say that's probably wrong.
Like if a fleet of ships started heading towards the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, and there were Americans on those ships, on the flotilla that were headed there. There were Americans, Swedish, there were some Egyptians too.
Well, is it because Saint Greta of the sailboats are?
Saint Greta, that's so funny. It's really good. And like she's like this huge climate activist.
That was
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure most of you know who we're talking about. If you don't, and you need to laugh, just go for the girl. Yeah,
Side note, it's Thunberg.
Thunberg, fully.
It's a hard T almost. Like middle of hard soft
I'm
P.
gonna keep calling her Thun.
Yeah, we speak American.
Thunberg.
Yeah.
And a bunch of Democrats were in the comment section talking about, well, that's what you get when you enter a country illegally.
Oh.
And I just.
Oh. We need to step back a little bit. But if you look it up, there's also videos. They were trying to, you could hear over the radio every one of these boats that Israel was like, we understand you're trying to deliver humanitarian aid. Please turn back. You're entering a forbidden area, right? There's channels that we have set up. It's for people to give to the civilians, right? Go through those channels because otherwise we don't know if you're bringing them weapons, right? And the people on those boats were like recording it like, oh, look at this propaganda. They're trying to get us to turn back so we can't help the people. And it's like, no, they're just telling you what they're going to do beforehand. And then they did it. And then they're like, what? How could they do this?
Wait a minute, can we pull the real quick? So, because we do know now that there were no weapons on the ship. They were people trying to bring food to the people in Gaza. Does anyone think that Israel should have just let them deliver the food?
Israel did take the food and all the deliveries afterwards, and they did deliver it.
Did they deliver it?
Yep, they did.
Okay, cool.
They took all the packages and stuff. They didn't just say, no, none of it.
Because if you let all those random civilians come, you don't know how many of those are like sleeper agents for Hamas anyways.
That's exactly what I was
You
thinking.
can't guarantee their safety if they
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't guarantee that food's gonna get to civilians. I mean, the boats can pull up on the beach and here comes Hamas taking all the food and selling it at an inflated price.
Yeah.
Or not selling it.
Well, if anyone, for those of you who are new, if anybody disagrees with the entire room, feel free to say so, and I'll back you up, even if I run into you.
Yeah. No, like that is something that I do want to throw out there. If there's anything ever said in here that you disagree with or you have your own opinion, throw it out there. Like we want to hear that because if I just stand up here yapping all day, there's a whole other perspective no one's gonna hear. Yeah. There are sources if you go to the slide, and then there's also building a dock. What? Most of them, yeah. A lot of them were like just one sentence. Yeah, a lot of them were like just one sentence off in an article. I'm like, yeah, it's probably in this other article anyway.
Okay, well, that's so academic dishonesty. I still don't.
The whole
It's not-
slide.
it's not all-
It's all the propaganda. Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
It's an anonymous source. You go.
Yeah. What is this?
What if you ask them?
Yeah.
Experience that happened in school, and after World War II, the world decided to give Israel, like the Jews back, like land or something, wasn't that like Israel?
There is a lot of that. There's so much I've heard, and honestly,
There's so many things.
No, that is actually true.
It is true.
Yeah, the Allied powers, they essentially got together a bunch of European Jews and said, we're gonna help you establish a country.
Yeah,
And they were already.
the whole thing of like, you hear people say, you think Israel has the right to do it? That's what they're talking about doing, and that should have happened. That Israel does have it. Because it was kind of like, yeah, taking it.
I think rights don't exist in this context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who can take it?
Hot take. But when Israel did that, they started something tribal that is more ancient than the idea of rights.
Yeah. That. If you know, if Charlie Kirk, you would always 100% stand that it doesn't have the right to it.
Well, but also does Palestine have the right to exist? Because they would say they have the right. So when it comes to this whole right to exist thing, that's not actually what this is. This is like ancient societies clashing. Whoever the person who kills the other group of people, that's the group that has the right to exist. That's how this conflict works.
And then it's like, oh, this like no.
Because we spend too much fucking time.
I guess which one? I guess they're all basically just blood cousins that are fighting each other, right?
Well, like half the Jews.
Yeah.
Just
A lot,
Yeah,
a lot of
of them.
Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
But a lot.
Like strongly should definitely be involved, or we should definitely not be involved. If anyone feels like really should. Are you asking us? Yeah.
Everybody.
Definitely keep our eyes on it.
That's why I think
I think the whole world should just like
Yeah.
include them and see what happens.
I would doubt it. I mean, it's possible. I haven't seen anything on that.
Well, that's kind of the whole history. When Israel was first established, like we're looking at the map right now, that's modern Israel. That is not what Israel was when it was established in the early 50s. It was a sliver of that, and they have progressively expanded.
Yeah, for sure. That and that war, the wars I was mentioning earlier, they do keep just taking it. And I do want to throw out there, like their entire military is our military. I guess I don't have a source for that, but everything they have is ours. Essentially. Like they're, what is it, the Iron Dome or whatever, and it was like, wow, that's actually impressive. And then they just around like, okay, You don't know where we're getting our stuff from, and they're getting their stuff.
It is cool down there.
If Israel's destroyed, how is the rest of the world going?
There's a lot to that. And the argument for like, oh, we need to fund Israel because, oh, there are frontier in the Middle East. Like, Israel falls, everyone is bullying Israel right now. They're bullying America. Israel's bullying, like, yeah, a lot of people in the Middle East hate America, especially Hamas. They really, really hate America.
Maybe they'd hate us less if we stop being involved in their region.
Yeah. And I'd also like to see them try.
Okay.
Yeah, we could probably erase the Middle East.
You're being too.
Yeah. Let them rip.
What do you think, the people, the citizens of Palestine
Yeah.
should necessarily do? Because say Israel does defeat Hamas, well then Palestine become part of Israel, and then the Palestinians now have like nowhere that's their like social land. What do you
I don't think Israel wants to completely take over Gaza. I'm pretty sure they want to set up a run government backed by Hamas. And like if you look at the ceasefire we have right now, and that's sort of going on. They want to. There's a dude from the U.S. that's going to kind of like oversee their government. So they would still have their state. It would just be like
Non-terrorist run.
yeah,
And
non-terrorist.
the Palestinians, it's like hard to tell how they feel about Hamas. A lot of them back Hamas, a lot of them absolutely hate it. There's a lot of fear mongering, right? And there's a lot of how do we actually know?
There's also no real information infrastructure in the Gaza Strip. Like pretty much everything you see is some sort of propaganda from somebody.
Yeah.
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 It's true. That's what war zones are like. There's no BBC's not running around the war zone like doing studies.
So just talk among the people around you. Do you think the flotilla, it's in international waters, right? Like Israel doesn't own the sea, right? Should Israel still have the authority to stop it? Where do you make and I want you all to like also consider like America. If America was in a similar position, what would you want our government to do? Right? So
Were they captured still being in international waters?
I don't know. Maybe,
yeah, they
Okay.
were like me think like they never landed.
Okay. But I mean, like,
Germans.
but I mean, like, did they announce it before they got in? They were still in international waters. They announced it, and then later, did they then capture once they got into not international, or was it still in international?
Just like if we were at the UK, I think we should have rights to the UK.
Yeah, I mean, they have a military blockade that's legal according to international law. So, I mean, as far as international law is concerned, yes, they were allowed to stop ships that were coming in that blockade.
perspective.
I have a Matt Walsh quote.
This should be good.
No.
Oh,
His quote is, he said, any nation that relies on American money for its existence does not have the right to exist.
oh, okay. Well, what were you waiting for?
That's a little bit different than funding the whole distance.
So we got our list here. Our everyone's favorite weed. So I kind of like Rusty because it's happened before, and I just want to like break up. She claims that she sat for hours on guard services in the bed bug infested Israeli jail while detained. She was denied adequate food and water. A Turkish journalist, full law. They were saying that that she was dragged on the ground and forced to kiss the Israeli flag. And the Islamic ministry has absolutely blasted these claims into their life. Believe it or not, they would do that. According to correspondence from the Swedish Foreign Ministry, by the Guardian, Thunberg official or phone official, she developed rashes.
Does she like take pictures of these rashes?
Well, of course not. She do that. She's traumatized. Why she didn't give it.
Well, I feel like rashes are, you're like kind of expected to get rashes when you jump on a boat and you ride fucking 200, 300 miles. I feel like you're just expected to come back with some disease. You don't even get shots or nothing to get over there.
Well, they're sailboats because they don't want to do any CO2 emissions.
Oh, yeah.
Like if I
That's why she rides a sailboat.
Any shots. I go back to the environment. AIDS.
Greta doesn't like the emissions.
Yeah, she doesn't like gas.
Very active. Yeah. And the time that I was about to bring up right here.
I swear I'm in the water. The workload, I'm in the water.
Claiming that they were kidnapped, and that they were given similar treatment. So, Greta calls it piracy under the cover of law.
Up with the frog bucket.
Nice flow quote there. Israel actually
Is that food?
came out and were releasing videos. Yeah, absolutely. And she's look how happy she is. Christmas morning. So
I like the bucket hat.
Israel actually came out with releasing videos of the soldiers, like giving them blankets, water, food. They were like being gentle. They weren't pointing guns at anyone's faces, but then as soon as all the activists got home, they were, oh, it was horrible. We were abused, dehydrated. The bread was stale.
What do you expect at the war zone?
Yeah, all these like
What
crazy.
can we stale?
So I just want to bring that up because you're going to hear a lot about this recent flotilla, and just know that last time that something like this happened, it turned out to maybe not be so abusive. So, got
That's a good one.
Thank you. He's got a peace plan for Gaza and Israel. He says that he came up with a 20-point peace proposal aimed at ending war. He calls for a ceasefire, hostage exchanges, federal alive, and a phased withdrawal of Israeli forces as Hamas agrees to demilitarize. Negotiations are currently taking place, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Egypt, Cairo. Okay, well, it's the same. I'm American. I don't care about anywhere else in the world. Media is by the U.S. I think I got most of these in the last one. You just wanted to read it again. That's just good for you. So,
Can we pull the room real quick? Did anyone in here vote for Trump with the hopes that he would fix Gaza? So which like anyone think about that one and we just about locked vote?
I don't think fixing is succeeding.
What happened? Was this the reason?
Yeah,
He's flying, he's out.
No, I wanted to make that point because Donald Trump, and look, I voted for him, and I'm sure most of us in here did, but he's got a really bad habit of doing shit that nobody asked him to do.
So we're thinking, I'm gonna bring up something else with that too. Because with Trump, there's all these promises, right? Don't get me wrong. I would never have voted for Kamala, ever, right? At all. Nowhere close at all. She had one policy on her website the entire campaign, and it was no tax on tips, right? She had more pronouns on her website. So, whatever.
I would have voted for her if she was black.
Something and someone accused him. Why are you going for like she's lying the wall? You lying. He's like, I don't care what she is. She's so Israel, they're actually saying that they wouldn't mind peace. Obviously, some Israeli right-wing leaders oppose some parts of the plan, saying that limits their military control and could reward terrorism. Come on, they say. No, you just love Israel too much and you aren't helping us at all commit more terror. The group says that they will only consider a ceasefire that includes a complete Israeli withdrawal and long-term lifting of the blockade. So I doubt anything's going to happen. So Trump RX. This is courtesy of ChatGPT.
Wow.
Yeah.
That head's a little big.
What was
Not
that?
quite a real photo. No source for that one.
Source, trust me, bro.
So I read about this the other day. I was surprised how little people are hearing about it. It's a website that plans to launch early 2026. It's supposed to offer an alternative where Americans can buy prescription drugs for a whole lot cheaper, right? It's just, what do you mean monitor?
Well, there's drugs are prescribed.
Yeah, so I would say the doctor would have to order it for the patient, right? Except it's not going to be through an insurance for the cost, right? So already Pfizer has agreed to be a part of it. So anything from Pfizer, if you go and buy it just out of pocket with a prescription, it's going to be, I don't know, a lot of money. But if you have insurance, then you're only going to pay a percentage of that. Trump RX is supposed to be another option for those who don't have insurance. With what we were talking about before, and also this is insane, like the discounts, they're actually really good if you look them up. It's very impressive, but like what Isaiah was saying, like when we voted for him, we were wanting like a whole bunch of things and big changes, right? How many people don't have health insurance? How many Americans are just like no health insurance, no whatever, and they're just buying these drugs completely out of pocket right now? Like how many people is this actually fully going to help and doing this kind of thing? Like don't get me wrong, I'd rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it, right? Like I'm glad it's an option. Except for a majority of Americans, this isn't as big of a deal as what they might end up to be here in the future.
The answer is 8.2%.
What is it?
8.2%. That's 27 million people don't have health insurance.
10% is actually pretty good. It goes like 1%.
The CDC, just votes.
Yeah, so it's a lot to. Yeah, and I wish, like, especially with the shutdown, I think we have some slides, or I know we have some slides on that. Isaiah wrote the main one, but he was too quick for me. But there is a lot with cutting down costs on Medicaid, Medicare, all those things, right? How the Republicans want to do it, how the Democrats want to do it. The main idea, which I forgot, I was going to put in some of the Doge findings on Obamacare and Medicaid of who was receiving benefits from it. Because there were several people who were like, there was what, a 380-year-old who was receiving money?
Yeah, well, there's.
Yeah, no, there was like a lot, like I want to say millions of names that didn't actually exist. So it's really just a whole lot of money laundering. And that's something that Doge dug into. And they're like, actually, what are we doing? Right? There are the people that are like Elon Musk. He's the one that started it, just efficiency. So
Okay. Really serious question. Do they still have the?
What do you mean this?
They still have the dog as their symbol. They still have
Yeah.
The dog
the
thing?
Shiba Inu.
Pretty sure.
They-
What?
they-
It's shut
they-
down now.
Yeah. And that's a great question. This is all like brand new stuff.
Sure.
I haven't been.
If they keep it existing in a smaller capacity, they should keep it as the Shiba Inu and make it as cute as possible.
I'm sure if it was someone who people.
Can I get a little conspiratorial here?
Absolutely not. It's not allowed here.
Yeah, so here's my thing about this. This is incredibly suspicious. Let's think about this. So this is the first administration in a very long time in America where they have RFK, a guy in charge of the health agencies, who one of his main stated goals is to hold these companies to task. And now all of a sudden there's this very odd collaboration between these companies and the president who was supposed to be holding them to task, and they're helping him look great.
Exactly.
Look, and I don't have any proof. I don't have any proof that something shady is going on, but it's incredibly suspicious.
Yeah. But I don't know, I just want to bring that up. It's kind of interesting. Obviously, there's going to be a lot that sources that are either going to be praising it. And I saw other sources that were like, this is the most idiotic thing in the world. And I'm like, okay, that's just, kind of just anti-Trump. Like, this isn't the end of the world.
You think you're.
Who supports it?
Yeah.
Do you think they named it after him?
Do you like it? Some other stuff. So, to kind of rub it into Democrats or? People mention I said they should actually think of them and be like, so you look at. I think that most. I would almost say a big guy.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
It's selective.
Extremely strong feeling about this. Because I don't outrage it all. And it was going to be like, oh, that.
I don't know nearly enough about it.
I feel like if it was just physical health concerns like medication, then I'd be a little bit more for it. Because right now it's literally like different items, autoimmune and migraine. Like, does it at all seep into mental stuff?
Yeah.
The autoimmune and migraine, I'm definitely for because I've got experience with both of those. My dad has severe autoimmune, and I've got migraines that I've literally the whole left half of my body literally started feeling tingly once. That was the migraine part, and autoimmune, maybe. I don't know enough about it.
Real care.
That's like this little.
That's like a whole bunch.
No, because nothing's free ever.
Getting healthcare, pay for it yourself.
Yeah. You need to be. You want to be paid? Well, too bad. You. Yeah. No. You work for the healthcare. What about that? You work in order to earn healthcare. You trade off money for healthcare.
Yeah.
Well,
There's basically, you stop being paid in money and start being paid.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Hot new idea. If you're really broke and you can't pay for healthcare, you trade off money for healthcare and food directly.
Sometimes it's like thousands of dollars out of pocket. And other times it's like even the down payment $500 and the other $80,000 that's owed. People just ignore it. They don't actually pay the price.
To answer your question, Jordan, I support healthcare assistance for people under a certain economic line because research is pretty consistent on the fact that people being healthy is actually cheaper for our system in the long run. So poor people, we should be open to get.
And
Drink some water.
so.
Oh, actually, let me add to that policy. Your BMI has to be healthy if you get free fucking healthcare.
Okay. Yep.
BMI is kind of weird.
So-
Why is I'm obese?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, you give it a little leave.
I'm not. Someone else next to it affects my BMI or anything. Because like it's just my obese. So it says that I'm.
So there's so much stuff to talk about with.
Take into account cardiovascular health as well,
I did
obviously.
If you want to run through this, we can throw around. I'm gonna throw this out very quickly. The Republicans want to cut down on how much we're spending on Medicare, Medicaid, Obamacare, all those things by having people resubmit forms proving that they actually need it every like 6 months, right? And that way, if you don't have a job and you're just sitting there collecting the checks, right? Then they're going to quit sending you that money. So you have to prove I'm actually trying to become healthier, I'm actually trying to get a job, trying to become a good citizen, right? And the Democrats don't want them to do that. They want them to just keep being able to fund everybody who wants to be. Yeah, Joel, you wrote this.
Yeah, so more or less, I just wanted to get like the main facts for what it's, why it's happening, and then we can all discuss it if we'd like. So the main issue is a disagreement on medical funding. Democrats want to extend enhancements to health. That's a typo. They want to continue the health insurance subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. We all know that as Obamacare. Essentially, what Obamacare was it was subsidies added onto the Affordable Care Act. They're set to expire at the end of the year. Democrats don't want to let those expire. The Kaiser Foundation is estimating that if they do expire, which I believe is actually supposed to be in October now, if they expire, costs are for healthcare through the Affordable Care Act are going to double for most people, according to the Kaiser Foundation. The Democrats also want to reverse some of the cuts and changes in Medicaid from Trump's tax and spending bill. So that is what you were just talking about, the more periodic checks of like eligibility. That's one of those things that they would like to reverse. The part of the debate that everyone is talking about is over immigrants and what immigrants, if any, are going to be getting health care. So the alien Medicaid ability provision of the big beautiful bill restricted Medicaid to only permanent alien residents. So if you are a non-permanent alien resident, somebody who's given permission to be here temporarily because of the big beautiful bill, you would not be qualifying for health care. I do want to get one thing I think is very important here. I'm sure many of you guys have heard it said over and over again. This idea that Democrats are trying to give illegals Medicaid. That is not actually what the debate's about. And I think it's very important that we hold the people we vote for accountable when they lie to the American people, and Donald Trump is lying about this. We can debate about it if you want, but he's lying. Hold on. Because this is just a standard budget bill. It's a standard government funding bill. This bill cannot repeal or change the laws that make it illegal for illegal immigrants to get insurance. And you can talk about the fact that many illegal immigrants cheat and get the insurance. Like, there is insurance fraud. That's the thing, but that's not what is actually happening. The government's not shutting down right now because of illegals doing insurance. So I think that's very important that we talk about facts when we're debating about this, especially if we talk about this at tabling, because anyone who knows what they're talking about, if we're at a table and we say, well, they're trying to give illegals health care, they're going to win the debate because we just said something fucking retarded. I'm just saying.
That's all the Democrats are saying. No, like, we can't do it, like, the law says we can't do it, so we've never done it before, like, obviously, blah, 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 and they're saying
you're actually just wanting this money to stay around so you can afford to give it to more illegal immigrants and they go under the radar because directly, indirectly with things like the emergency situations where it's like, oh, they're gonna die, so they need to go in hospital, and whatever, right? So it's important to understand both sides of it, and it's more important to understand like what Isaiah was saying, what the law is, because want to know what they're being involved, not just what you know is going on. Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, so first off, Chuck Schumer is full of shit. Second of all, Rand Paul is yapping about voting no because of Jimmy Kimmel. Like, I think that, yeah, look at the interview on that. I think there's just a little bit, I don't know, I think it's.
Don't base anything on Jimmy Kimmel.
And again, I think he literally just likes to vote again. I mean.
Yeah. Don't ever base anything on Jimmy Kimmel, even if it's your.
They're fine. They're a good time.
Oh, I've got.
Like it, don't
I
base
have
it.
I put a slide in about that. I did. We can pull it up now if you want.
Supply, but then they have to check that they're illegal and then put their addresses.
Do it like the hackers the other day. Get into the system.
That's great.
Hey,
By the way, trash that. Yeah.
Darn burn
people. So there's a lot of people who are not getting paid right now and they're still having to work. There's a lot of information here. So a lot of departments are being suspended. Non-essential functions are being put on hold, which turning point wise, we want limited government. Charlie Kirk said once that when things like this happen, the good thing to look for is, okay, if we don't need these running, then why are they always running? Why are we spending money to keep them going? Like, this is a chance to see what we need and don't really need, and to be able to cut off the jobs that we don't need to limit government more. Right?
Non-essentials are shut down.
Yeah,
They become
get that
permanent. They should
non-essential
become
positions.
permanently
You want to pay for
non-essential.
someone to sit and do thoughts. So some positions or programs are completely threatened. Like what I was saying, there's some groups that it's like, okay, we don't think we really need your thing, right? You might be doing something, but there's other programs that are better, or what you're doing now is not actually what you're supposed to be doing. So it's important. Air traffic controllers are working without pay. No one hurts fine.
Ooh, that one.
It's hard work. Like if you've ever listened in on those towers, it's a whole another language. And most of them are military, or at least veterans of military. Like the Des Moines.
Each one of them is
where I went up there.
keeping track
for a
of 3
trip, there's
planes at least.
one of the 15 people in that room were not military. So, something else, government employee fair treatment act 2019 ensures that federal employees who are furloughed will be retroactively paid once the shutdown ends. But private contractors and support staff do not actually get paid. Yeah.
Do we know if they will get back pay after the shutdown?
It just
For-
depends on.
For the air controllers at least, because holy cow.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. And so it's also the kind of thing of like, whose fault is this? And you're going to be seeing a lot of fingers being pointed around. The left is like, oh, it's a Republican shutdown. And then the right's like, okay, they need to just come back to work and I don't know, put the baby back in their mouth.
The pinky, oh my gosh.
I'm glad.
Oh, that'll be a that'll be a nice big check.
Can we do another poll? Who thinks the shutdown is Democrats' fault?
Again, don't know enough. Don't know enough about it.
Does anyone think it's the Republican?
His fault.
Does anyone listen? I love when the government shut down. I'll take the point. You can fucking shut down for the rest of my life. Do they collect taxes when they're shut down?
What do you mean?
Like, does the government still collect taxes when it's shut down?
They can make money off it.
We'll have to resort to plan B. Does anyone think it's both of their fault?
I don't like how they're pumping their
Hey.
brain.
Jimmy Carter had 5. Not Kimmel, Carter. I've had his name. 5. 5 funding gaps.
By the way, I thought I should have put this number in the slide. The amount of money that essentially Democrats and Republicans are debating over, the subsidies that are making up the center of the debate, $91 billion in 2023. That's the amount of money that Republicans would like to save by allowing the ACA subsidies to lapse. Democrats are saying that it'll double the insurance for everybody who is on the Affordable Care Act.
So most of what you're seeing is
Maybe temporarily.
that money was being. That money, it's going to not be benefiting them, but the Democrats are like, actually, there's so many laws saying that we can't do that. So that's. And then there's once again Republicans saying, just because it says you can't doesn't mean you can, right? Just like all the buses going for the border, all that, that's good. You can't shuttle bus illegal immigrants to wherever, right? But we found out it was him. So just whatever you think on it, do your own research. The important thing is that you all understand there's a lot more sides than just the two that you're hearing all of.
Yeah, good rule of thumb in American politics is both sides are. I'm not going to say that whole word.
Yeah. Hopefully not a month.
The last 3 years.
It'll last for 3 years.
Actually, this is one of my hottest takes. The founding fathers designed a government that was not supposed to do much, and our government does way too fucking much. That's part of the problem. I think government shutdowns are good for the system.
There's a lot of whiny people. Take care of all.
Working for the government's a bad idea. Shouldn't have done it. Learn to weld.
I know how to do that, thankfully. I am a welder.
You know how much math it takes to be an actually good welder?
A lot. I can confirm
sit
that.
there and weld dimes all day. If you don't know what to do, you're going to be making 15 hours for the rest of your life.
I can confirm that.
Okay.
What you sound so sad? What RuPaul do?
He's calling
Did he vote against the Republicans or with them? Yeah.
He said something about I just saw him say like, "Oh, I'm $2 trillion of the national debt."
my favorite source. Now, I love that.
That's the doubt.
It knows all about motorcycles. Okay, so let's play a little game. Two truths and a lie about wasteful spending that Doge has uncovered. This is actually looking into our wasteful spending. So I would imagine if any of these actually went to the American people, I mean, lives would actually be changed for the better.
Is this from the spreadsheet?
No, actually, these more. So you can actually go on the government foreign spending website. You can actually download an Excel file. It was like 15.3 gigabytes. And I downloaded it for a class because I was supposed to give a presentation in Excel. And so my presentation I gave to like my group was about all of our USAID spending. I found all sorts of crazy in that 15 gigabyte file. Anyway, two truths and a lie. The U.S. government once spent $315,000.
Average is 8 days currently. Apparently, the average length of a government shutdown is 8 days. We're significantly over that. I believe that one.
Never built, known as. So they spent $25 million more, and it turns out the bridge didn't actually. Okay.
Hey, whoever put that meme up there has got a pretty good sense of humor.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was him. We're gonna raise our hands as we go. We think the lie is the first one.
I have a question. How do you play Farmville on Facebook? How do you do what? How do you play Farmville? Isn't Farmville like an app, like you play on your phone? How do you play?
Oh, no, it's
like the government.
It was on Facebook before it was an app.
I vote
If you
one.
have $350,000.
It was actually on Facebook before it was an app. Yeah. I'm old, so I know these things.
Who thinks the first one's a lie? It's too little money. It's not enough money. It's not nearly enough money.
The second one.
Number 2.
An actual camp, like it's no, because
As in with 1 or 2 humps. The water, food, fat storage.
okay.
I know it's not a. I know it's Alaska. What?
So, I hope you enjoy your purchase. Yeah. Huh?
We spent $2.3 million giving cocaine to beagles.
The science, baby. Why?
Those poor puppies.
So, 2 truths and a lie. USAID spent $47,000 on a transgender operation. Yeah, Colombia. USAID left Colombia. $1 billion electric vehicle initiative. Vietnam. USAID spent $8 billion developing AI-powered self-stabilizing surfboards to promote eco-tourism in Hawaii.
It was awesome.
Pain for the third one. They're all.
I don't think helping Hawaii. That's a part of it. I don't think it's we would help. USA can't help ourselves. Who thinks the first one's a lie?
Is it gonna be the numbers? Or
Stuff.
The whole thing. It's either the entire sentence is true or the entire sentence I just came up with. Okay. The second one is the lie.
How much did they spend?
The third one is the lie.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
Self-stabilizing surfboards. You're right, that was the lie. The government knows the average American going to Hawaii is probably too large to go with surfboard.
That is true.
2 truths and a lie. $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. $6 million for tourism. What? All of these are USAID. And then $2 million for LGBT activism in Guatemala.
you gotta do the ads.
I also like to imagine like bringing the Americans to like, I mean, their tax money funded these, right? So how many Americans at least they could actually point to a map, and be like, oh yeah, Peru, right? I wonder what comics they have. Or say, here's Egypt. Hopefully more people do this, right? I feel like a lot of people would say way more towards Asia, to where it's at. And then Guatemala.
What is
Peru? How many people don't know? Who thinks the first one is the lie?
Like that weird hump.
Who thinks the second one is the lie?
Nigga, I thought Peru was in the Middle East.
Okay.
Again, 2. Okay, I vote Peru just because it's not enough money again. Not enough money.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those were all true.
What?
I knew they all thought.
No, they got rid of the lies.
No, we got rid of it. They brought it back.
Like the low
They brought it in the order.
You cared, actually.
So I don't know what comic book that was, but
Yes.
I'm curious.
Probably wasn't any good.
Why is there a 2 in there? Why is there a number? Why is there a number in an acronym? Don't ruin crayons for everyone else, though.
Is it racist, funny, or bull?
I vote B.
Like these videos, like all of them.
It's moderately funny. It's moderately funny. I don't care who you are. It's gonna be funny in some manner, even if it's offensive to you. If you're gonna, if you gotta laugh at something, laugh at this.
Yeah, they like they just after they made these ones.
Well, we always did this because they made the kitty explaining videos, like the Republican, Kitty explains baking, Kitty explains government shutdown. And it's like Republican Kitty said no, the Democrat Kitty said, okay, we're shutting down. The Democrats made that video explaining. Yes.
Can we reflect on our founding fathers were some of the most intelligent men of their time. They defeated the most powerful empire that the world had ever seen, and then they locked themselves in a
With
room
some
for
help.
2 weeks and wrote the greatest document anyone's ever written.
To be
200
fair,
years
there
later,
was a lot of help.
our politicians are sending memes at each other.
I think that, you know, we progressed.
We're no longer having civil wars, at least. We're having a very civil war of words.
That'd be awesome.
I think they would still be sending memes. I think
No,
You're probably-
I like the George Washington. Franklin was killer. I like to imagine I imagine like if they had like
Franklin.
they had some nice. Well, I'm thinking about what they were saying back then. That was out. Yeah, so they would probably like independent people.
We'll consider out of pocket. Then.
We want to split up
And maybe we can figure out a pocket now.
Think about it. I think we should independent
funding Israel. Hopefully not. Is Israel's security tied to America's interest? Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people say, oh, Israel, they're going to start coming after America next. So the U.S. balanced humanitarian aid and national security. The media narrative unfairly portrays one side. I would point that to be more about the shutdown. Obviously, they unfairly portray one side. And is Trump still realistic? Is he possible with Hamas? Still pieces thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, everyone stand up. Go talk to people. I think that's it. Yeah, it is. Yeah. This one's for the group me analysis. Yes. And then I was like, wait, so this fairly one. Like you talking to her. Yeah, just involved and I walked in and hey, we're inclusive. We're on. Yeah, that's very close. Well, I'm pretty sure Jude run.
Yes.